Thank you so much, Professor Parra, and thank you to the Institute for Family Business for allowing us this platform and inviting us in here to your house so that we can present this opportunity. We're very excited to be launching this program, and thank you to all of you that are in attendance today. First, as Professor Parra mentioned, my name is Yeri Olivares. I am with the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and CDFI Executive Director. I've been with the organization for a little over 12 years. And I came here right after I graduated from Fresno State. I'm a Bulldog. I have an accounting degree from Fresno State. So I am very happy to be here presenting today about this exciting program. And just to give you a little bit of background, for the organization's been in existence for about 20 years. And so what we have provided is technical assistance, one-on-one consulting to individuals that are looking to start a business or existing small businesses that are in need of different resources to help them advance, help them grow here in our community. We also have a business incubator here in downtown Fresno. We are right in the heart of downtown. We provide affordable office space to small businesses. We have an incubation program. We have conference rooms, training facilities, and we also have co-working space for all of our virtual tenants that want to come in from time to time and access our facility here. We also provide networking opportunities to existing small businesses, small business professionals that work for different organizations, institutions, and that we do that through different monthly meetings that we have, annual events. We do have delegations. We have partnerships in other countries as well. And then we also have a membership program here at the organization. And we are also a CDFI, a Community Development Financial Institution. Several years ago, we decided that we wanted to we always provided technical assistance to small businesses, but we had not provided the funding. And so we decided that we wanted to be a wraparound service organization. So we decided to become a CDFI. And in 2021, we were able to get our certification through the Department of Treasury. Dora Westerland, who is our CEO, and I both founded our CDFI, and we believe to be the only CDFI in the region to be founded by women and Latinas. We could potentially be the only one in the state and also maybe in the United States. Nobody has corrected us yet, so we're going to go with that for now. And like I mentioned, we wanted to be able to provide a full scope of wraparound services at our organization. We began our lending operations in 2019 and got our certification in 2021. So we have been able to execute our loan program for almost 3 years. So we have all of 2021, all of 22, and so almost all of 2023 now. This is our geographic service area. So the Central San Joaquin Valley region is an 8-county region that we are focused on. So we serve businesses throughout this region. However, we have been able to expand our network across the state. We have served businesses in other states here in the U.S., and also some of our programming has virtually extended to other countries. So we are an organization that has been expanding for the last several years. And we have a huge focus in rural communities. We know that small businesses in rural communities don't come to us for various factors and barriers. So we bring our programming to small businesses in these communities. So through our CDFI, we decided that we wanted to bring additional opportunities to small businesses. And so we're working and developing 2 different ecosystems here, one with small businesses and one with angel investors, which Judy will go into further detail. I just want to kind of to present to you what we're going to be talking about today. So, we're working with small businesses, looking to foster innovative ideas and help small businesses scale through a pitch competition that we are going to be hosting. This pitch competition will be funded by a group of angel investors, and we're looking to fund one small business through this fund. I will put a article that the Business Journal put out not too long ago that talks a little bit more about our angel fund and what we're looking to do there. I'll put it in the chat for you to look at. But what we're looking at, what we're going to be talking about today is the opportunity of becoming an angel investor. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide education for individuals that have never done angel investing in the past. We're going to provide some training and of course, the opportunity to build your network of investors as you become part of what we hope you become part of this opportunity. So I just wanted to start by laying out who we are as an organization. You know, we have existing partnership with Fresno State and different departments. As a matter of fact, we have President Saul Jimenez, who's going to be speaking at our next breakfast meeting at the end of August. So we have an existing relationship with Fresno State. We also have had different projects with Professor Parra and his accounting course. And so we look forward to continue developing our relationship with the Institute for Family Business, and of course, through some of you that may be interested through this program. Here's my contact information. I'll go ahead and plug it in the chat for you there. But what I would like to do next is introduce you to our consultants. So Angel Gen is a group that we are working with. Misty and Judy Mahan, who you're going to get to meet next, are the two wonderful women that are helping us carry on this project here in the Fresno area. She'll show a little bit about who she is and her background and putting together angel groups. But with that, I would like to introduce to you Judy. Go ahead and take it over.
Thank you very much, Yeti. It's a pleasure to meet everyone. Thank you for having me, and thank you for making the time to learn about what we're doing here in Fresno. We're really excited. Misty and I are business partners with Angel Gen, and between the two of us, we've launched, I think, more than a dozen angel conferences on an annual basis. I'm launching our 7th conference in the area, in the San Luis Obispo area, and Misty is launching her 6th annual conference. So we have a lot of experience, and we want to share this for the Fresno area because we believe there's a lot of potential there to replicate what we've seen be very successful both in San Luis Obispo and in San Diego. So my background, just real briefly, I was a corporate and securities attorney in Palo Alto in Silicon Valley for 4 to 5 years, where I mostly worked on equity funding deals, which what we're going to talk about today is kind of the start of that process. Is how do you invest in a startup company as a private investor and in exchange for shares in that business. And it's a way to be able to support local startups within your region, within your area, and until they get to a point of sustainability when they can start talking to banks and get bank loans. So we'll dig into that during the presentation. So I will actually share my screen. Let's see, here we go. Oops, and I'll go back to into slideshow mode. Okay, can you all see my screen? Okay, great. So as mentioned, Misty and I are business partners, and here is my business partner, Misty Rusk. And I will launch right into give you an overview of the agenda for my portion of the talk. So I'm going to briefly explain what angel investing is all about. Why are we doing an angel conference in Fresno? What is an angel conference? How does it work? What does it mean? How do we get to the point where we find the right startups that are ready for this type of investment and make sure that we provide quality candidates for our investors to be able to make interesting investments? And what is the process for actually selecting the right startup to make an investment? And then, of course, we'll have plenty of time for any questions that you might have. So what happens is often when a company starts at the very initial phase, there's different types of sources of funding to help get the business off the ground. Originally,
because he said that he wanted 315 gallons, so I thought it was that capacity.
Oh, sorry. I think, is someone off their mute or, yeah, okay, we're good. Great, thank you. So usually businesses at the start are funded by the original founder. So if I wanted to start a business, I'll put some of my own money into the business to get things going. Then maybe I will find grants through organizations such as Yeti's organization, business grants that can help me move the needle, move further along. Maybe I'll participate in programs such as accelerator programs that do provide some funding to businesses in exchange for participating in a 12-week intensive program. And then you start reaching out to friends and family and say, okay, I need a bit more funding. I'm starting to validate what I'm doing here, but I still need some help. And then there's what we call the valley of death. There's that moment where you've put money in, friends and family has put money in, you've obtained grants, but you still need a bit more before you can, before you're actually ready to launch the product or service. And this is where angel investors come in. These are investors who, and I'll explain, who are accredited. We'll look at the definition of what an accredited investor is, who are willing to put anywhere between $5,000, $10,000, maybe $50,000 into a small business to help them launch their product or service. After that, there's other opportunities for business owners to then talk to banks and maybe venture firms if they really wanted to scale and grow much larger. So that's the cycle of funding that businesses go through in the startup world. So typically we're looking for innovative businesses. We're looking for founders who are pretty resilient, determined, believe in what they're going and in what they're doing, and investors who maybe you already have investments in the stock market, in real estate, and this is a way to diversify a bit that portfolio and say, okay, this is a higher risk type of investment, but I'm seeing a business here that's very innovative. There's a lot of potential. I believe in what they're doing. And there's a potential for return on my investment if I invest in this business of a pretty high return, although it is high risk. Or maybe it is that you want to support your local business community. So that's something we've seen a lot here in San Luis Obispo. A lot of the investors who do participate in our Angel Conference program, they're just super eager to support local business. And this is a sort of it can also be seen as a philanthropic way to support local business. So that's a whole other portion that we can talk about. But the idea is that these businesses will get a lot of resources, a lot of support. They will be successful, and there will be an opportunity for a return on that investment. And by a return, at some point in time, they will either pay back the money with significant interest, or they will get acquired by another business for maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times their value. And that's when you get 2, 3, 4, 5 times the return on the investment that you originally put in. So how does the Angel Conference process actually work? So first, we encourage startups to apply to be part of this competition. It's very much like Shark Tank. There are a lot of startups that apply to be part of Shark Tank. There's a vetting process. And when you watch the show on TV, you basically see the best of. So during round one, the investors who invest, so each investor, by the way, is asked to put in typically $5,000 into a fund to get, and that money is aggregated together. We're hoping to connect with anywhere between 10 to 20 investors. We raise anywhere between, $100,000 to $200,000, and that total amount gets invested into one startup. So round one, the investors get together. We review all the startups that are applying to be considered for the investment. And we start having conversations and discussions around who we think are the best candidates. Once we've narrowed it down to our 10 to 12 best candidates, we actually hear each of those 10 to 12 startups pitch to the investor group. They will do a 10-minute pitch with slides. And based on those 10 to 12 pitches, we'll then pick our top 6. Once we have picked the top 6 best startups in the region, in the Fresno region, we'll start what's called the due diligence process. So the investors will break out into groups of 3 or 4, and they'll each be assigned to one startup and actually go meet the founders, go to their place of business, and really start digging into the business and understanding, looking at the contracts they have in place, look at the customers, talk to their customers to really understand the business and to see the viability of the business to make a better decision as to whether or not you would want to invest in that business. And at the very end, we have our angel conference event. It's during a specific day. Right now we selected a date at the very start of November to hold this event. And during the event, the investors will, just like Shark Tank, you'll pick the winning company that will obtain that total investment. So that's sort of that's the gist of how the process will work. Here's an idea of the timeline. Currently, we've extended the application to encourage as many startups, as many business owners out there in the region to apply to be considered for this event. Then we'll do some training with the investors. We'll talk about what to look for when we're reviewing the applicants, what will potentially make the best possible top 6 applicant for this event. Then we'll start the due diligence process, and we'll have our grand finale early November. So sorry, that timeline should extend a little further out. And here's the process. So up until now, we have worked with a number of entrepreneurs to get them ready to pitch. We have additional entrepreneurs that will be applying. And once we're ready and have our investor group in place, we'll start presenting those entrepreneurs and those business owners to the investor group. So we're right in that process right now. Here's some data that I'm not going to spend too much time on, but basically the gist of this is that the number of accredited investors, and actually I'm going to define what an accredited investor is. To be an angel investor, you have to be accredited, which means that, and actually I think that's in my next slide. We'll jump right into the next slide. Either as an individual, you have a net worth of $1 million or more, and that does not include the value of your primary residence, or as an individual, you earn $200,000 or more per year, or with your spouse, $300,000 per year. Or you have certain types of very specific FINRA certifications, but I've never encountered that scenario, so I'm not going to go into too much detail around that. And there are exceptions made for knowledgeable employees within the business who are, because they have enough knowledge about the business, are deemed accredited and are allowed to invest in the business. But for the most part, we're looking for individuals with income of $200,000 a year or $300,000 a year with their spouse combined. And going back to the prior slides, now that we understand what an accredited investor is, the gist of this is that the numbers have gone up over the years. If we compare 2015 to 2020, we are seeing more and more accredited investors in the US that qualify as accredited. They are more and more active. And that's kind of what's on the top part. 34% on average are women, 66% men. We are seeing more and more women involved, especially in our angel conferences. The last one that we did, it was about 50-50. So that was a really interesting evolution there as well. There have been less deals in the last 5 years between 2015 and 2020. Although I'm seeing that there's a big uptick this year. You've probably all seen in the headlines, the stock markets are starting to rally. And just in the last couple of weeks, just that news has definitely generated interest, and I'm seeing a lot more activity. There's been a spike in the last couple of weeks of interest. So we talked about the definition of what makes for an accredited investor. Here we have the QR code that you, if it's up on your screen, you can take scan that with your phone to get more information, to get the form, to sign up, to become an investor. So this doesn't actually commit you as an investor, but it does allow you to complete the form. It gives us the information, and it allows us to keep you in the loop on all the events and training sessions and all the information that we're putting out between now and our actual Angel Conference event on November 3rd. So thank you for taking a snapshot of that, although we will follow up with a recording of the webinar and follow-up information after this as well by email. And so real briefly, this is an example of a company called Smooth Blender. Here's what they went through an Angel Conference program in San Diego with Misty. And this is an example of what you'll see when the companies present. They talk about the business. They'll present about 10 to 12 slides about the team, about the product or service. They'll present their financials. And at the very end of their slides, they have their ask, which is what we see here. And in this example, Smooth Blender was asking for $400,000. So this angel group that we're pulling together, the one that we're pulling together for Fresno, we're not having to invest the entirety of that amount in that business. This company will look at different angel groups, different investors to pull together a total amount of $400,000. But that's the amount that they're looking for to be able to pay. And then they show on the pie chart what they will use that money for. They're going to use it for IP. Probably they need to get a patent filed. They're going to do some sales and marketing. Maybe they're going to hire and put in place a sales team. So you get an idea of how they're going to spend that money. And then I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but they're raising the money on a convertible note, which is a legal document that states that we're investing money into this business, in exchange of which, after 2 years, either they will pay that money back with interest, or the money that we invest. And here, as a group, we decided to invest just $100,000. So there's an option here to get it paid back as a loan with interest, or have it convert into equity, into shares, into ownership of that business. And then they're explaining to us that they are planning to then raise $1 million. Or I don't know, I'm not familiar with this company, so I actually I'm not 100% sure if that's what they had already raised or that's what they're planning to raise after this round. But anyway, this just gives you an example of what to expect when companies start pitching to the investor group. And then often the companies will share with us, the market opportunity. So we're looking for businesses that have the potential for $1 billion target market, because we want something that's scalable, that's high growth. And then this is the same company, Smooth Blender, is comparing themselves to other brands, other products in their market, and they're explaining why they're better, why they're more efficient, why they're more competitive in that market. So these were just a few examples of things that you would see in a pitch deck from a startup. We do some training on that with our investors to explain to you how to look at pitch decks when companies present, just in the same way that they present to the Shark Tank group. They would present to you and what it is that you're looking for to figure out what would be the best investment for you as an investor. And here's Misty's information. We didn't have time to update the slides, but if you contact Misty on her email and phone number, I get connected as well. And now I'll open up to any questions from the group. So I'll stop sharing my screen. And if there's no questions, so basically part of the ask here today is, we want to see if there's any interest in the process. If you have seen Shark Tank before, if it's something that sounds exciting and an interesting experience to be part of, especially considering that it's a way to be exposed and to learn about local startups within your area, within the Fresno region. This is a great way to get involved, and it's a great way to support those businesses and help them thrive here locally. So that's kind of what we're doing right now, is we're just trying to figure out who would be interested to participate, get connected, join our email list so we can keep sending you information on the process here as we're working up towards our November 3rd event. Yeti, I'll hand it over back to you.
Thank you, Judy. I also want to take this opportunity to let you know that tomorrow we have a session with investors. We have tomorrow at the same time at noon. I'll go ahead and put the link, or if you would like for me to send this information over to you, if you would like to put your email in the chat, I can forward you the calendar invite. It's just something for you to continue listening in on the conversation as to what it would entail tomorrow. We will have individuals that are both already committed to being investors and individuals that would like to learn more information and have the opportunity to maybe ask some additional questions when it comes to angel investing. It is over Zoom. It'll be tomorrow at noon, and I would be happy to share that information, or I can also provide it to Professor Parra so that if you're interested, he can also share it with you as well. So thank you so much, and I will pass it back to you, Professor Parra. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, it is my pleasure to host you both, and I think this is an important way for us to invigorate our community and participate in the well-being of those entrepreneurs that may want to partner up with individuals that are looking for an investment opportunity. So thank you for sharing this information. If you are interested in participating in more of these discussions, Yeri Olivares has posted her information on our chat room, and her number is 559-222-8705, and that should be a good contact number, or her email is yolivares@fresnodbh.org. Again, that is posted on our chat room, or you can reach out to me at parra@csufresno.edu, which is the email that corresponded with you for this event's confirmation. So without any other questions, let me open up the floor just in case there's any other follow-up questions at all. All right, then I will let you have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll keep you posted on future events.
Thank you very much.